Okay, first of all, I want to tell you how we're going to turn the canvas. Remember, this is a rectangle. It's got 2 short sides and 2 long sides. I want you to make sure the short sides are on the top and the long sides are on the sides. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is in the very middle, I want you to draw a heart with your pencil. You're going to draw it in pencil in case you make a mistake. You may still see the pencil with the watercolor, but you're going to go over everything with a Sharpie. Okay, so step 1 is a heart. You see, I didn't like how I did this side of the heart right there. So I'm going to erase and I'm going to make it go a little bit higher. There we go. I like that a little better. Oh, maybe a little rounder. There you go. Okay, so I've got my heart. That's step 1. Remember, pause the video if I go too fast. Step 2 is I want you to make a circle going around the heart, just like that. This is going to be the body of the bee. Okay? Your next step, after you do the big circle around the heart, now remember, pause it if I'm going too fast. Alright, I'm still fixing that heart. Okay, your next step is to give your bumblebee, which is what we're making, some wings. And this side, I've got some wings. There you go. There's an opportunity too, you could make them a little bit more heart-shaped. So that's step 3, heart, then circle, then wings. Alright, my next step is kind of fun. I'm going to do 2 big circles up here. 1, and then another. I've got a little space in there. And then I'm going to make eyeballs. The bigger you make the dark part of the eyeballs, the more adorable the bumblebee is going to look. And I'm just kind of shading it in now. I'll go back and really shade it in when I have my Sharpie. Okay, so that was step 4, was to put on the eyeballs. Step 5, we're going to give our bumblebee a cute little smile. Just like that, you just go around and then I give 2 little U's right here for the cheeks. In between the eyeballs, I'm going to put antenna. We reach over the eyeballs and curl up at the top. That's looking pretty adorable. Okay, now we're going to move to step 6. For step 6, you might want to use a ruler. If you have one, you can freehand it, but I'm going to use a piece of paper so I can draw a straight line. Remember, bumblebees have stripes. What's special about my bumblebee is the stripes don't go through the heart. So I line up my paper to make it straight. And I'm going to go a line across to the heart and stop. A line across to the heart and then stop. Okay, and I'm going to move a little bit down and I'm going to do the same thing again. Go a line across and stop. A line across and then stop. Okay, I'm going to keep repeating my stripes, and you can make the stripes a little fatter if you want your bee not to have as many stripes. It really is your choice. Now, or if you've gotten to this point, you're like, I don't even want a bee. You can make it into a ladybug. I don't mind. You just have to kind of think about how you want it to look. Oh, Greta says she's going to make it into a frog. Oops, that one wasn't quite straight. Yay for pencil. Okay, and we'll keep doing stripes. I might speed this up on the video so you're not just sitting here watching me do tons of stripes. Okay. Alright, and now I'm down at the bottom. When I get to the very bottom, I've got to give my bee a little stinger. So I'm going to go down and give it a little arrow down here. You could also make this a little heart if you want to make it very loving. Alright. Now, my next step is to add words in the middle. The words that we were going to write are be mine. So, Bee is normally spelled B-E, but because it's a bumblebee, you add an extra E. So it's B, E, E. And if you didn't give yourself enough room in the heart, don't worry about it. Don't write it. You can just make it a beautiful, beautiful heart when you go back and paint it. Mine is spelled M-I-N-E. So it says be mine. And now I'm going to go through and I'm going to add just some more hearts just to kind of fill in the background. Maybe you want to have your bumblebee flying in the clouds, or maybe you just want to make it blue back there, like they're flying in the sky. Okay, now this is normally where I go take a break and get a drink of water, and then I'm going to come back and cover every single one of my lines with my black Sharpie. That's the best part of using pencil is if you make a mistake, now's the time to fix it before you go back over it with Sharpie. Okay, I'm going to pause the video because you guys don't want to have to watch me go over everything you just saw with Sharpie, do you? Alright, so there we go. Okay, there it is, all covered in Sharpie. Something that you can do since you use the pencil is go back and erase, if you want to, any of the lines that you didn't end up using with your bee. Just make sure that you kind of brush them off because you don't want them to get stuck in the watercolors. And keep in mind, like if your hands are dirty like mine, that every time you use your hand to sweep the eraser shavings off, you're going to scrape it on there. But I don't really mind, it's rustic. Alright, Greta wants to come help me with the painting part. So you want to come here, Greta? Okay, here she comes. The first color, now remember for watercolors, you're going to want to brush your watercolors and a paint tub. The first thing I want you to do, Greta, is dip your paint in the water. Okay, then tap, tap, tap. Okay, now I want you to come to the red and kind of wake it up. Move it around. Good job, good job. You might need a little bit more water in there because this paint set's kind of old. Okay, now I want you to go to the heart where it says be mine, and I want you to paint that heart. Yep. It's okay if you go outside the line. It's beautiful. Very careful. I'm going to pause while she paints. I love this part. I'm going to snap. Okay, so Greta just went to go wash her hands. She did a beautiful job on the heart here. And you see she did get a little bit of the pink from her hands right there, but that's just going to add to the beauty. Alright, the next color that I'm going to do is the blue because it's really time consuming. So it's good to do it before you get too tired. And the blue is going to go outside the rest of the hearts. Okay, so I picked up more water and I spread it on there, on the blue to kind of wake it up, and I'm going to paint around everything, but if I go over it a little, it's okay. It's watercolor, right, Greta?
Yeah.
Okay, so Greta's going to paint the rest of the blue for me, and I'm going to pause the video so you don't have to sit there for that. Okay, so this took Greta a while. She did a great job with the blue, but she does want you guys to know she had to wash her arm afterwards because the blue went all the way up her arm. Okay, so the blue is mostly dried now, so we're going to start on the body of the bee. And what color are bees? Yellow. I get the great choice of getting to choose my yellows, but I'm going to choose the lighter, so I wake it up, and I am going to start painting the inside of the bee around the mouth. If your red's not dried yet, like mine, it'll kind of bleed into it, which is actually kind of pretty. Yeah. So yellow, sorry. Okay. We're also going to paint the stripes black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow. So I'm going to start with that. So the next stripe is going to be black, and so then this one, this yellow got a little bit of green in it. You see how that yellow? Yeah, I might do the stripes this time, Greta, okay? I'm sorry, sweetie. Okay, there, I kind of switched my yellows because my other one got too much green in it from the last time. Yellow. There we go. And my bottom one will be yellow. Okay, and my next I'm going to color paint the and yellow. And I'm gonna let them dry, and then I'm gonna come back and add a little bit more color there. Just a little bit. There you go, you pretty yellow butterfly. Or bumblebee. Oh, it's been a long day for Miss Stella. Okay, so there's the yellow parts of my bumblebee all painted in. I'm gonna take back this area. Let me see if I can wash it and let the yellow come back. Alright, a little green there, that's okay. Now I'm gonna let this dry before I start my black step. Okay, I'm back and it's dried just a slight bit. So I'm gonna start down here with my stinger. That's gonna be painted black. Okay, oh, you can't see. I just painted that black. I'm going to go to the first stripe. And go in there. I'm going to go to the next stripe. And I still have a little bit of yellow drying right there. So I'm going to be kind of up there and anyways, kind of blend together. Yeah. Art is just that way sometimes. It gets away from you and you create something you didn't intend to. Alright, next we've got a little black from the last stripe. I was kind of avoiding this section because there's so much yellow at the top there. Okay. Ooh, look how my colors kind of blend together there. That's nifty. Okay. Now, remember how I said I was going to go back to the wings and do a little extra design? They are still too white, or too wet. But my hearts that are everywhere are ready to be painted because the blue around them has dried. So I'm going to go back to my red and I'm going to paint in my little hearts that are all around the board. There we go. If you didn't do them, if you did clouds instead, then obviously you can just leave them blank, or if you happen to have a watercolor set that has white, you can fill it in, you can make it storm clouds. Your parents are going to love however you make this. Okay, kind of giving this guy some beauty. Okay. Now my wings are mostly dry, so I'm going to find the orange and give them that accent color. And I am going to paint a little orange in the middle of each wing. I saw one online that had little hearts here. It did, but I'm just going to give like a little oval shape there just to give it some accent. And then my beautiful bee is all finished. I am so excited. I need to let it dry, but I can't wait to give this to somebody for Valentine's Day or just because I love them. Alright.